Hey guys, the next process in our reloading series will be doing powder. Okay, so first of all, I want to be clear on this. I just want to be clear that wherever you zero your scale at, try to leave it right where you zeroed it. If you move it around and scooch it, and I've got these pads on top of my bench, so well, that will affect your weight. Okay, it will. You know, I've been a machinist for years, and these things matter. If you look close, I'm pretty close to zero right now. There's a little foot right here, and if you turn that foot, see how the scale is getting heavier and heavier. It's above the zero. So I'm going to try to turn it the other way and see if I can get this thing zeroed. Now, and I'll go with some other things with you as soon as I get this done. Okay, it doesn't take much. You just spin that wheel until you see zero. I don't know what you see on your side, but my side, well, maybe a little more. I'm back the other way. There we go. All right, now we're dead on zero. Okay, and that's what I'm after. Now, the reason we do this, and I do this every single time, is to get the most accurate weight that I can. Now, move the camera a little bit. There's a zero. There's a couple little pieces on this scale. Of course, this is an RCBS 505. Real good scale. I've never had any issue at this at all. So there's a couple of places on here, and when you're zeroing your scale, that's exactly what you're doing. So you want to put all your weights on zero. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3, and they're all on zero. And make sure your pan is on the scale when you do all this, okay? So once you get that done, you're gonna be setting your scale up to the weight that you want for your powder load. Let's just say, in this case, I want to do 5 grains. Let's say 5.5 grains. Let's do 5.5, and then what I want to do is I'm going to come up here to my scale, or excuse me, my powder throw, and see how I've got mine set up. I'm using that little bar that comes in the package on my press. This is just something I do, and I use one of my dies and put the nut and that little bridge. I put it in between the nut and the bottom of the die, and then I tighten it up real good. So I'm going to have powder in here. I'm going to throw my charge. I don't have anything in there right now. I'm going to throw my charge. And I'm usually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pan and put it under here instead of putting a bullet under, or a case under here. So I'm going to put my pan under here. I'm going to throw it. I'm going to weigh it. And then I'm going to see if it comes out to my weight. If it doesn't, I have a little adjustment right here. I don't have a micrometer adjustment, but it's close. So I take this, and I always want to make sure I have tension on it. This tension is what keeps you accurate. There's a little spring in there. Let's see if you can see it. You can probably see it crossing over right there. So there's a little spring in there, and as long as that stays, there's a little tension on it, this is not likely to move. Now, your scale, throwing it, you're going to vary your scale a little bit every time you throw a charge. So I usually will, depending on the powder, the typical powder that I usually use in these handgun loads is a flat disc type powder, and for whatever reason it varies a lot in here. I just can't get it to stay the same. It's within 2 or 3 grains, but I'm constantly going back and adjusting it. So what I do on that kind of powder is I check it about every 5th round. Okay. There's another powder that I like to use, and it's a round ball type powder. And it's great. It works fantastic in this. I very rarely have to, maybe every 50 rounds I check it just to see. And it's never off by more than 1 grain. So I try to keep mine dead accurate on the grains. I do a lot of checking. So there's the getting set up to do your powder. Okay. I have this RCBS powder. I want to tell you about the powder charge. I do have this RCBS powder charge. I don't like the lid on it because it's just kind of loosey goosey up there. It's never come off. I've never lost any powder out of the top, but I just don't like that top. And that's just my opinion. Probably doesn't matter, but you can see how it's discolored a little bit over the years. And if you look close in here, closer, I had to buy a baffle. The baffle cost me about $1. So the baffle helps you keep a nice consistent powder charge every time. It keeps the same weight of powder. If you're looking at it this way, it keeps the same weight of powder underneath that baffle. So if you have it filled up and you're using powder and the level goes down, typically without a baffle, the heavier the powder gets lighter and lighter and lighter. So theoretically, there's less in this cone that comes down and falls out of the powder charge at the bottom. So anyway, that's it for powder charge and setting up your scale. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up through the YouTube channel. I do check that once a day. I will see it before the day's over. Don't expect me to get you back in about an hour, because I won't do it unless you do it about 6 o'clock at night, because that's about when I check it every day. Anyway, God bless and have a great week. Make sure to like and share my videos if you like them. Okay? Have a great week.